6 hours of sleep, 37 unread emails before breakfast, back-to-back meetings until 3 p.m., a late lunch at your desk that's still cold because you didn't have time to heat it up, then a performance review with an underperforming employee who needs more than you have to give, then a budget crisis your CFO dropped on you at 4:15, then a call with an upset client who doesn't care that you're exhausted, they just want answers. Then you get home. You sit in your car in the driveway, the engine is off, the house lights are on, and you don't get out. It's not because you don't love your family, because you do. It's not because you hate your job, because you don't. It's because you have nothing left. No words, no patience, no presence. Just the echo of an empty tank. And here's what I need you to hear. You are not a bad leader. You're not lazy. You're not weak. You're not failing. You're just an exhausted leader. And there's a difference. Exhaustion is not a character flaw. It's a data point. It's a signal from your mind and body that the old rules, the ones that told you to work harder, work longer, work faster, those have stopped working because time management was never the answer. You can't schedule your way out of depletion. You can't prioritize your way out of burnout, but you can learn to manage something more powerful than your calendar, your energy. And we're going to dive into that on this episode of Engage and Inspire. Hello, leaders, and welcome back to another episode of Engage and Inspire. I am your host, Scott Liles. Now, today we're dismantling the single biggest lie in leadership development, that time management is the answer. Because here's the truth. Time is finite. Energy is renewable. And if you lead from an empty tank, you don't just hurt yourself. You drain everyone around you. Now, let me ask you something personal, and I want you to be honest with yourself. When was the last time you finished a workday feeling genuinely energized? Not just relieved that it was over, not just surviving, but actually thriving. If you can't remember, then you're not alone. But here's what keeps me up at night. We are training a generation of leaders to burn bright and burn out fast. And we're calling it, quote, high performance, end quote. Today, we're going to fix that with data, with neuroscience, and with a completely different framework for leading yourself and your team. By the end of this episode, you will, 1, understand the 4 real dimensions of energy. 2, learn why emotional energy is more valuable than IQ in conflict resolution. 3, get a 7-day Leader Energy Audit that you can start tomorrow. And 4, hear how HR can build a culture of human sustainability, not just productivity. So let's start with the data that stopped me cold. We often treat exhaustion as a badge of honor, but the data says opposite. Exhaustion is a performance killer. Now, data point 1 is the Wachovia Bank study. In one of the most cited studies on this topic, researchers at Wachovia Bank took a group of employees and taught them energy management, not time management. And what were the results? Dramatically higher customer loyalty, improved employee engagement, and better financial outcomes. They didn't work more hours. They worked better hours. Now, data point 2 is the CEO turnover crisis. Senior leaders are stepping down in record numbers. One executive said, quote, "It is a great job, but it's not worth a heart attack," end quote. We are losing top talent not because of pay or purpose, but because of depletion. And data point 3, only 23% of employees are thriving globally, and this is from Gallup. That means that 77% of the people you lead are operating at partial capacity. And guess what? When a leader is exhausted, that number drops even further. Now, here's the connection to employee relations that we rarely talk about. Low energy equals low emotional regulation. Low emotional regulation equals higher conflict. Higher conflict equals more HR cases, more turnover, more cost. Leadership energy is not a nice to have. It is a risk management issue. Now, most leaders think energy is just physical: coffee, sleep, gym. But that's like trying to drive a car with only one working tire. Research breaks energy into 4 distinct dimensions, and I'll walk you through each one. One is physical energy. That's your biology, sleep, nutrition, movement, recovery. You cannot think your way out of being tired. If you sleep less than 6 hours for 5 nights in a row, your cognitive performance rivals being legally drunk. That's not leadership. That's a liability. 2, emotional energy. Your internal state, optimism, resilience, calm under pressure. The NIH research shows that emotional dissonance, which is pretending to feel one way when you actually feel another, is one of the fastest ways to drain energy. Leaders who suppress emotions end up exploding later, or they go silent. Neither work. Number 3, mental energy, so your focus. Neuroscience says we can only process 40 to 50 conscious bits of information per second. Every time you switch from Teams to an email to a report to a text, you burn cognitive fuel. So by 10 a.m., many leaders have already exhausted their mental budget. And 4, spiritual creativity energy. So this is your purpose. Why do you lead? If the answer is just to get through the week, you're running on fumes. Leaders with high spiritual energy recover faster from setbacks because their work means something beyond the paycheck. So here's the leadership insight. You cannot pour from an empty cup, but you cannot lead a team that doesn't understand their own energy dimensions. So ask yourself this week, which dimension is the highest for me right now? Which is the lowest? And what would happen if I started protecting the lowest one? Now let's move from theory to tactics. And you don't need to add any more apps to your phone. You have enough already. You need better rituals. So tactic 1 is the 90-minute sprint. So research into ultradian rhythms shows our bodies work in 90 to 120-minute cycles. After that, performance drops sharply. Top performers work for about 52 minutes and then they take a break for 17. So your action is to stop scheduling meetings back to back. Block off strategic recovery on your calendar. And yes, that means sitting down and staring out a window, thinking about nothing. It's not laziness, it's recovery. Tactic 2 is decision budgeting. So every decision that you make, whether it's big or small, uses the same mental energy pool. By the time you've decided what to eat, what to wear, and which email to answer first, you've already spent energy on trivial things. So your action is to automate low-stakes decisions. So wear a uniform, eat the same breakfast, save your decision energy for what actually matters. That's your people, your strategy, your culture. Tactic 3 is the 4 p.m. reset. Most leaders crash at 4 p.m. Instead of pushing through, call a 15-minute team reset. No new problems, no decisions, just a quick check-in. Ask questions like, what went well today? What drained us? What do we need tomorrow? This lowers collective anxiety and rebuilds emotional energy before the next day. Okay, Let's take a quick break to recommend something that my wife absolutely loves. She spent years in boring, ill-fitting activewear that made her feel fine. Not great, just fine. Then she found Wear Playground at wearplayground.com, and her whole confidence shifted. Playground makes luxurious activewear for women. Bold prints, sustainable fabrics, limited edition collections designed in New York City and made in LA. My wife says it actually fits, breathes, and looks beautiful, whether she's at the gym or running errands and grabbing a cup of coffee. Google reviewers agree, with one reviewer saying, "Finally, activewear that makes me feel unstoppable." So if you're tired of bland workout gear, or if you're a guy wanting to get something great for the woman in your life, head to wearplayground.com. I got you 20% off any product, exclusive to my listeners. So use my promo code HELM, that's HELM, at checkout. So full disclosure, I do earn a commission on this when you use the code, but that supports the show. And honestly, I only recommend what actually works in my own home. So check them out at wearplayground.com. Now this segment, I almost cut because it's a little uncomfortable for some, but it's also the most important. There's a well-established phenomenon in organizational psychology called emotional contagion. It means emotions spread through the teams like a virus. And guess who the super spreader is? It's the leader. When you walk into a room exhausted, frustrated, or checked out, you don't just feel that way. You transmit it. Within minutes, your team matches your emotional state, even if they don't know why. Studies show that negative interactions have 4 to 7 times the emotional impact of positive ones. One bad meeting with a drained leader can undo days of positive culture work. This isn't about pretending to be happy. It's about honesty with boundaries. Instead of walking into a meeting and saying, "I'm exhausted, let's just get through this," try saying, "All right, team, I'm running a little low on energy today, so I'm going to listen more than I talk. I trust you all to lead this conversation." That's not weakness. That's emotional intelligence with transparency. And for the HR leaders listening, if you hear that managers are consistently depleted, don't send them to a wellness webinar. Look at their meeting load, their decision load, their support system. Energy drains are almost always structural, not personal. Now, let me introduce you to a term you'll be hearing a lot more of. It's called human sustainability. Now, it's not an employee resource group. It's not corporate wellness. It's the idea that organizations have a responsibility to ensure that their people exit at the end of the day as healthy as they arrived, or even healthier. Now, right now, most workplaces do the opposite. They suck energy, they extract it. They reward burnout, and they call it dedication. Now, what human sustainability looks like in practice is 1, meetings have clear energy check-ins before content. 2, leaders are measured not just on output, but on team recovery. 3, HR policies explicitly protect focus time, things like no meeting Wednesday or an email curfew. And 4, promotions require demonstrated energy management, not just hours logged. One Australian HR Institute report put it perfectly. High performance without recovery is just burnout with a better title. So here's my challenge to HR leaders that are listening. Run a 30-day energy audit in your organization. Ask 3 questions anonymously. Number 1, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your average energy level at work? Number 2, what single thing drains your energy most each week? And number 3, what would your leader need to stop doing to help you recover? You will be absolutely shocked at what comes back, and you will have a roadmap for change. All right, we're in the final stretch. Let me give you a few things that you can implement tomorrow. I call this the toolkit. So it's your energy audit sheet. That's first. What you're going to do is you're going to track your energy on a scale of 1 to 10 at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. Do this for a week and then look for patterns. Find out which meetings drained you, which meetings energized you, and then do more of the ones that energize you. Number 2 is the 60-second reset. Before any high stakes conversation, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and exhale for 6. This lowers cortisol and it resets your nervous system. It calms you down. And then number 3, the team energy check-in. In your next team meeting, skip the status update. Instead, ask, where is our collective energy right now? And what do we need to do to protect it? This week, I want you to do one thing differently. Choose one energy dimension, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, and protect it like it's your most important meeting of the week. So for physical, go to bed 30 minutes earlier the night before. For emotional, say no to one request that you know is going to drain you. For mental, block off 90 minutes for deep work with no notifications, no interruptions. For spiritual, write down why your work still matters to you. And then report back. Tag me on LinkedIn. Reach out to me at scott@leadwithhelm.com. Tell me what changed. Now, here's the truth that I want to leave you with. You can have the best strategy in the world, the most talented team, and the most efficient calendar. But if you're running on empty, none of that matters. Leadership is not a sprint. It's not even a marathon. It's a series of sprints with intentional recovery in between. And the greatest gift that you can give your team, it's not your time. It's your regulated, present, available energy. Now, I want to thank you for listening to this episode of Engage and Inspire. And if it hit home, share it with a fellow leader, share it with a colleague, a friend, a family member, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Let's help everyone be better versions of themselves and better leaders for tomorrow. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It's the most selfless thing that you can do. And remember, until next time, keep engaging and keep inspiring. Take care.